Eskom has repeated its concerns about the debt owed by Gauteng municipalities for electricity. It says that a figure now stands at a whopping 4.7 billion rand. At least this is just for some of the municipalities in the province. For more on the story, we're joined by Amanda Qithi, who is the spokesperson for Eskom in Gauteng. Amanda, when we look at some of the figures just from early on in this year, the Gauteng Premier Lesufi spoke about a total of 13 billion rand that is owed by municipalities cumulatively in this province to Eskom. Is that still the figure?
Thank you, Qithi. The figure that we have as of 31 August, the municipalities across Gauteng, they're sitting at 11.4 billion rands as it stands. So that's exactly where we are currently sitting with the overdue debt for the municipalities.
It's quite a high number, and you know, at the time that he was speaking about these figures, it looks like it's been able to come down somewhat. But the point he was making was that there was going to be a need, or at least a call, for Eskom to write off some of that debt. Amanda, is Eskom going to be doing that?
Qithi, I think you are aware of the debt relief that National Treasury had made available for the municipalities to apply. So I know that Mfuleni and Rand West are the two municipalities that have been approved as part of the debt relief by National Treasury. And of course, there are terms and conditions that they need to comply with. So at the moment, within Gauteng, those are the two municipalities that have been approved by National Treasury to be part of that debt relief, which would then obviously have certain conditions that they need to apply to comply with in order for then eventually their debt to be written off.
So where does the bulk of this debt sit? I know that today in particular you've been talking about, you know, the city of Ekurhuleni and Tshwane that cumulatively owe close on 5 billion really, but that would still leave you with 6 billion in order to fully be able to recover the debt.
Yeah, so I think just to give you the figures, for example, in Mfuleni, they're sitting at 6.4 billion. The city of Tshwane with the 2.6, this is just overdue debt, 2.6 billion. Rand West, 803 million, and the city of Ekurhuleni with 677 million. So that is where the bulk, in terms of the top four municipalities that have overdue debt.
Let's talk about the agreements that you've entered into with Tshwane and Ekurhuleni in particular. You seem to be raising concerns about the fact that they haven't been servicing that debt.
Yeah, so at this point with the city of Tshwane, there is no current agreement that we have. What is of concern for us is that I think since 2022, we've had these erratic payments from the city of Tshwane. There's been lots of engagements to try and see how best we can assist the city of Tshwane municipality, but it has been ongoing. They are in areas, and also they're not servicing their current accounts, so which makes it even worse. I mean, for if a metro is not paying, it really puts a huge strain on our finances. And when it comes to the city of Ekurhuleni, is that they either make sure payments to their current account, and also they pay their current account very late. So as much as you find that they would, let's say, pay the current account, but the payments are done very late. So they are both in areas, and also from the city of Tshwane especially. I mean, they're sitting with areas of about 3.5 billion rands, and the city of Ekurhuleni, it's about 650 million rands that is in areas at this point.
We've seen some of these metros, including Tshwane, go on campaigns to try and recover lost revenue by cutting people off. That, of course, becomes a mechanism that's available to them. Does Eskom have the same ground? Can you do to them what they do to residents? Simply cut them off?
No, unfortunately, Kathy, we can't just simply cut them off. There is processes that we need to follow in terms of how we deal with, our credit management processes that we need to follow in terms of how we collect revenue. I think what also happens at certain times is that we would involve other stakeholders to assist us to mediate when it comes to the municipality debt. And you would find that at a certain point, they would honor their payments, but again, they would default. So it's just something that we can't just simply go and do the disconnections as the municipalities do to customers. So we have, unfortunately, certain processes that we need to follow before we can even get to a point whereby we can disconnect, which, it's a lengthy process. It's not something that we can just over a couple of weeks or months decide to go and implement.
So how are you going to deal with it now? And it's not lost on me that in some municipalities, including the Northwest, the Free State, Eskom has gone as far as attaching assets of the municipalities in order to get payment on outstanding debt. You might not be quite there with these municipalities, but talk to me about the process here.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to the city of Tshwane and the city of Ekurhuleni, we do need to get to a process whereby we are at least able to get the two municipalities to honor their current accounts. I think our biggest concern at this point is very much the city of Tshwane, because they, if we look at our books and our records, for the month of July and August, we're sitting with unpaid invoices for the current account. So we really need to then explore that avenue of either following the legal process. You'd know as well that with Emfuleni, we've gone through the process of attaching. We do have a court order that is out that we're in the process of implementing. So we try and exhaust all avenues and involve the stakeholders that we need to involve, and also just engage with the municipalities to try and see how best we can deal with this. But at this point, I think there's been a lot of engagements. There's a lot of avenues that we've explored. So we then just need to see how best we move forward so that we can ensure that we collect the revenue that is due, because we have provided the service, so it's only right that then the municipality paid for what they've consumed.
Amanda, why do you think you haven't been getting the desired response despite these engagements with officials from both cities? Why do you think when it comes down to the wire you're still not being paid?
The municipalities would cite issues around the collection, that the collection rates are very low, so they are unable to pay. So it's some of the reasons that they've cited, and sometimes they would say that they will pay, but then they don't honor those payments. But I think around the late payment, that's where we would see that they would not pay as per the electricity supply agreements, because if it says 30 days, then they need to ensure that they pay within the 30 days according to the agreements that they've signed. So it's really just different, we'd hear different reasons, but I know in terms of the collection, that's one of the reasons that they cite, that they're unable to pay, because their collection rate is very low, so therefore they're not able to pay us what is due to us.
Amanda Qithi is the spokesperson for Eskom in Gauteng. Thank you for your time tonight, Amanda.